Yesterday I had a QHHT session done on me by an intern, and basically what that is you get do a past life regression, and then the second portion is questions to your higher self. So you write your own questions of what you're curious about life or what guidance or clarity you're looking for, and then it gets asked to you while you're in this hypnotic state, or I just the best way for me to explain to people is you're just in a guided meditation, and so the questions are asked to you when you're in this trance state to help you be able to connect with your higher self, to be like in a calm, neutral space where you can connect better with your higher self and get answers. And so the past life that I experienced is very interesting because a couple weeks ago I saw this story going around on TikTok about the Wolfridge Lodge or something. I don't know what it's called, but it was in California. They shared a story about the kids being scared and seeing this thing with glowing yellow eyes. I usually try not to listen to spooky stories because I get very spooked out. So I'm surprised that I actually listened to it. I mean, I didn't listen to the whole thing. The thing is that yesterday, right before my session, I was on TikTok, and a woman that I follow who is a psychic and does like reading on videos, she was like in picking up on what she could pick up on that video, and that's the one I watched the whole thing of. And she basically said that place aliens do experiments on people, and so she kind of doesn't recommend people go there. And so I don't know what comes first. Did the brain hear that and then create a story, or is it a synchronicity where I've been seeing that because some of the information of that was going to help me decipher this past life that I experienced? And so the past life that I saw, I was started with in being in a car and being in the passenger seat with my seat back, and I could see like the trees and the forest right like passing my window as I was laying down. And so basically we were at a cabin. I think it was me and my brother, because the person that I described was like a red strawberry blonde-ish type hair, straight and spiky. And he was driving me to the cabin, and then we met two other friends, a girl and a guy. And she was just asking me how was the energy of the cabin, and I was like, oh, it's fun, it's cool, we're having a good time. And then I get like this feeling of fear in my body, and I was like, oh no, I do not want to be scared right now, but I'm so creeped out. I just am so creeped out right now. And she was like, "Oh, why do you feel like it's negative?" I was like, "Well, it's nighttime now. The energy of the cabin and the space has completely changed, and I don't feel good. I'm really scared." And she's like, "Well, when you guys have dinner, are you having it outside or inside?" And I was like, "I told them I was like, we need to come inside. I don't feel good." So I was like, "Everybody's inside." They're laughing kind of at me, like, "What the heck? What's wrong with you?" Like, they're not like making fun of me, but kind of like, "Oh my gosh, why are you being like this? It's not a big deal." But they eventually come in, and I see image flashes of like um, what I would say is like a human shaped form, but no hair, alien humanoid, and like crawling on all fours. I know the word starts with an S and W, but I don't want to say it. That's I didn't even say it in my own session. We called it a creature, which is fine. I would be more than okay calling it that. But basically, I saw there was like a window door, and I saw it run across the door a couple of times, and then also saw it watching us through the window. And so this practitioner was obviously new. She's an intern, and I've learned a lot throughout my own spiritual journey to kind of like know what to do and where to move in a past life. So for me, this is going back to being a practitioner. For me, when a past life comes up, I'm looking for what are the traumas, what are the programs, what was carried on, because if it's showing up, your higher self wants you to know something from that life is pertaining to your current life that needs to be cleared, addressed, transmuted, whatever it is. So I'm looking, what is the common theme of what's happening in this past life? How is it affecting the current life? And then how do we clear that? And so instead of staying in that scene, I think because she could sense that I was scared, she kind of probably didn't know what to do. She moved me to the step by step of what you normally should do in a session, which is completely valid as a student and as me. My first, handful of sessions that I did, obviously followed by the book. I didn't actually know where to lead the conversation. But as I did my own healing work, as I took, Reiki, my mentorship, my intuition mentorship with my Reiki master teacher. I don't even know what to call her. Do I call her my Reiki teacher or my mentor? Because she did mentor me too. And just like a bunch of information. I'm always learning. I'm always picking up new things that resonate with me, that feel good. I always put my own spin to it. And so she diverted from that memory to like, where do I live? Who lives there? What does it look like? And then she moved me to a day. So in this day, I am running into the church, and I'm like frantic. I'm in despair. I'm like, I want help. Nobody's helping me. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. I'm so misunderstood. I don't even understand what's happening. I'm terrified. Like, somebody help me. And like, they were just kind of all turning their backs on me. So the moment I ran out of the church, this thing, I was going crazy because this thing had followed me back from the cabin. And so this thing ran as soon as I walked out of the church doors. It ran and jumped on me like if you were giving somebody a piggyback ride. And I thought it was eating me at first, but there's no blood. I didn't feel any penetration through my skin, but I could see energetically my life force was being drained. And so this thing, I was confused in my own past life. Is this thing physical or spiritual or dimensional? Because like, no, it was like about 10 people in the church, and they weren't able to see it, but 3 people standing behind these 10 people saw it, and they were terrified. They're just like, what the hell is going on? We don't know how to help you. Like, we're scared for ourselves. And so they were just standing there like in fear. And then the other church people were just like confused and like, why is this lady laying on the ground and like having a seizure basically? Because they can't see what was on my back. And trying to summarize this to make this video not so long, basically it was draining my life force, and I was in such despair and alone, and I didn't have a community and a spiritual community to help me understand and see this. And so I just kind of gave up too. So I gave up, and then as they were taking my life force, that's how it happened. And she was asking, well, was the church protecting you? Is that why it couldn't enter? And I was like, no, it wasn't quite that it couldn't enter. It was that I was so low vibrational frequency. I felt so depressed and so alone and so just like nobody to understand me, support me, and they just all thought I was crazy. And so at that point, when I left the church, I was already done. Like I was like, how do I even go on? I don't have the strength, the resources, the education. And this time frame that I'm in is like I saw myself in a green dress with white daisies or flowers, and then the collar is like a rounded collar with white trim on there. So I don't know what that time frame of fashion is, but it was a very small town back in time, in human timeline. And so there was a Native American shaman there that could have helped me, but I never reached out to her. And then the three people that were seeing what was happening to me and the things that I was seeing weren't able to help me because they didn't have the resources, and they were just scared. So that's why they didn't like help support me or validate it. They just kind of pretended like it wasn't real because they didn't want to give more energy to it. And I happened to be a redhead too, like really curly redhead with a bandana. I remember on my final day was I was in a coffin. And so basically, yeah, I was like, we don't know. Basically, after that jumped on me, we went to a next day, and that next day was my funeral anyway, or next moment in time was my funeral. So I had passed, I had just given up. And but I was in the church above, my spirit or my soul was in the church above, watching what was happening. And then part two coming up. So this is part two of the QHHT session I had done on me yesterday, regarding past lives. So I want to touch more on like why I was seeing these creatures, because the videos I was seeing in the last couple of weeks was accumulating to share about this experience that I was going to go through yesterday. And so basically there was information from that video that the woman posted, the psychic woman posted, that was helping me understand certain things that was happening. So apparently somewhere down my line or past lives or soul lineage, ancestral, whatever, probably this is what I picked up during the session, is like there was a connection, and there may have been at one point some contract between this alien race that, you know, also maintains these creatures, to do experiments on me or my soul or my lineage, whatever you want to call it. And so this part, some parts of the session I facilitated myself based on all the healing and information that I've done for myself. And so I wouldn't expect you to have this happen to in all QHHT sessions and practitioners. Everyone is different. They're going to bring in their unique skill set and tools that they've learned along the way to apply. But for me, I started QHHT in 2020. I've been doing my own healing work and exposing myself, learning, experimenting for 6 years now. So based on my own experience, I kind of led my own session, because last time I had an intern practice on me, it was beautiful, it was great, we got a lot of information, but I didn't do the healing piece of it. So I had to go back during my own time to complete the healing of that. And so in this case, I was like, I don't want to set aside another time. I'm just going to do it right now. So I told her, okay, there's some things I want to do before we move on to the next thing. And so basically, I wanted to sever that connection. I wanted to basically renounce the contract and say that I'm no longer allowing, there's no more permission, and I want to sever the tie. And it was really hard to do. Like, they did not want to sever it because I was trying to focus on it so hard. I called in my galactic family to come and help me because this is an alien race that is draining my energy. And I kind of had the feeling that it was tied to all the dreams that I have in my current life that are anxiety filled. Just, I don't even know what's happening in my dreams, but I'm just so like anxious in my dreams. I just, school, late to school, can't find the bus, wrong bus, have to walk home, being a spy, even like a child soldier, a lot of like sex trauma stuff too. And so I was like, I had a feeling that was tied to this. And so I asked my galactic family. There was like a shield that they were kind of trying to block me and sever the connection with. But basically I was just like, I didn't no longer allow this. If there were any contracts or files or whatever, I released those. I no longer gave my permission, and so we were like cutting that information off, or that connection off. And in the video that the psychic woman, I wish I could remember her name, but she basically said the yellow eyes, when they make contact with you, that now they have a forever link to you, and that creeped the heck out of me. I was just like, I don't want to listen to this anymore, but I think I was meant to hear it because there was something in connection to me, like wherever I am, or aspects of me and my soul, or my lineage, or ancestry, timelines, lifetimes, whatever, they are sucking energy from me, and they did not want to sever that because, so I don't want to like come off conceited or anything, but the energy that I felt was that the life force that they were taking from me was very pure, like strong and non-diluted. There are some people who maybe don't have a strong of connection to source or spirit. I don't actually know what the true reasoning is. I just felt like, okay, it felt like my energy was like a cube of bright white light, and so they really like to suck from that source versus like a premium gasoline to like a lower quality gasoline. That's like the energy that I picked up on during when I was asking like, why won't you sever me? I don't want to be part of it anymore. And that's what I was picking up on, is like, it's a very good quality and we don't want to sever that because we need it to do whatever it is that they're doing. But I was like, okay, well, no, I no longer agree to that. I don't want to do it, and I demand you to release me in the contracts. And so it took a long time, and she had to tell me, okay, we'll come back and check up on that as you guys are doing that. So I was like, almost like mentally trying to help and see the process, but maybe that was hindering it. But so we left that and we just reconnected at the end, and I was like, okay, yeah, this energy does feel like it's gone. I see the galactic family put a shield between me and that alien race or beings or whatever, to like shield and protect me and make me basically invisible, like severing the connection. So I just thought that was really interesting. I saw the lady say, again, I don't know what came first. Did she do that and then my mind created the story, or did they send me that story to help me make the connections to do what I needed to do, which was sever the cord? For this, because she said that she does non-invasive work, so she won't sever the cord unless that family reaches out to her and says, we do want help, because she said they're not experimenting on their kids, but that they can connect to them anytime because the kids had saw them in the yellow eye, so the connection was made. And so that was the piece that helped me understand, okay, so what do I need to do here? You show me this past life, you show me these creatures, you showing me they took one of my lives, like what do I need to know? And that was the piece I needed to know and integrate and do in my healing. So synchronicity, or did the brain create it because I heard it? I'm not sure, but I am spiritual, so I'm choosing to say synchronicity, that it was all meant to be, so that I had the tools and understanding to do what I needed to do in this session. So this is part 3 of my QHHT session that was done yesterday. I wanted to just touch on, so I've heard before that Dolores Canyon's teachings were not complete, and so I always listen to everything, take it with a grain of salt. I can see why they would say that sometimes based on information, that I've been coming across based on my own learnings and teachings, but I didn't truly fully understand that until yesterday when I had my session. So during QHHT, and I only took level 1, so I'm not sure what level 2 and 3, if they touch on this or not, they almost teach you to do the past life regression like a journey, like a curiosity journey, just to experience it and see it. And for me, like I explained in the last video, when a past life shows up, I'm seeing what are the traumas, beliefs, what are the things that have crossed over to the current life that we can again look at, understand better, reintegrate or transmute and release, so that you have a clear slate starting the day of your session and moving forward. Again, with maintenance, still always have to maintain that frequency, doing the work to be at that high vibration. And that, again, if you haven't heard me say before, is all about self-healing, inner healing, shadow work, mind, body, spirit, everything. But for me, I specialize in doing the inner child or soul reintegration and clearing of energies to allow you to have a clean slate, or as clean of a slate you can have. And maybe it's just for one topic to begin and move forward with your life. And so after if you listen to part 1 and 2, a very traumatic lifetime, we basically want to disconnect, and then they train you to disconnect and then ask questions about that life. So that's the piece where I finally understood. I see what they're saying, because my Reiki teacher and my mentor, she had told me that if a past life is showing up, it means that that aspect of you or that soul has not crossed over, and you want to cross it over to be returned to divine source, heaven, or to by returning there is reintegrating back into you, and not stuck there in that time and place. So what I did, so what happened and what made me really realize that and understand, yes, her teachings were missing some pieces, some very important energetic spiritual pieces, is that because she crossed over, and at the end you see I was hovering over my body, stuck in that church, watching everyone confused as to what happened, why was I so alone, what could I have done differently, like just questioning my life. She then said, okay, leave that person there. She will find her own journey. She'll do what she needs to do. We leave her there, and we were going to this next thing. And so when I heard that, I was like, that's the piece that I was missing. I was like, now I truly understand, because some lives are not traumatic, so that's why I didn't understand that. But I have had one too many traumatic lifetimes that have not been reintegrated, and so I finally understood and connect the dots and really feel like it was embodied in wisdom, not just knowledge, but wisdom within me of, oh, that's what they mean. We can't just leave her there. We have some work to do, because we came in here, we explored it, and now we're just gonna leave it. No, we're gonna reintegrate it. So basically, I told her, okay, I understand that you're following protocol, you're new and you're student, but I'm gonna go back and do some work while we're in the state, just so that it's not left behind. I don't have to do it later. And she was like, okay, cool. So basically, I went back. I called in divine sacred specialist to help me reunite the soul back to source, to clear the trauma if there are any chains that she's locked or tied to help her understand what happened, and then to let her know that it's better to be returned to source. So that's what we did. So yeah, that piece of QHHT practitioner, if you're out there, I would highly recommend you do a little bit more research on the energetics behind that, and to not leave a lifetime that is traumatic as it is, to learn how to help the client that's coming to see you to transmute that, to clear that, to help maybe just gain understanding. Obviously, it's going to take time. I didn't know that skill. I didn't know it until just last year. So 5 years of doing QHHT, obviously didn't apply that, and so now I'm starting to apply that. If you're unsure, you could just ask them, hey, let me know, does it feel like this lifetime has crossed over and returned back to source or heaven or whatever their belief system is, or does it feel like it needs to be reintegrated or returned? Does it feel stuck? So if you're ever unsure, just ask the client. They'll let you know, and if they say no, then you don't have to do that piece. I depending on the lifetime and what we experience, I usually say, let's cross it over. If I'm not sure, I'll be like, okay, what do you think? Do you want does the soul need help crossing over, or do we just move on to the next thing? So yeah, a lot of times in my life, I'm realizing I'll hear things, I'll know it, I'll understand it consciously, but when it hits me or is applied to me directly, I don't even have the words to explain it, but like I just feel it innately as truth inside me. I'm like, oh, I can completely see, feel, and understand that now. It's so beautiful each time that happens. So I urge you, if you hear something and it resonates with you and you think you know it, to actually pay attention when you actually embody it and understand it. It's so beautiful, and so keep learning, keep growing, keep healing. So this is part 4, but now we're into the higher self portion, the questions I asked to myself, to my higher self. So I asked about the tachyon chamber experience that I had in January, and I really wanted to see from a different perspective what was happening to me while I was in that room, because I pretty sure fell asleep for most of it. I thought I was awake for the whole time, and I thought I had another 30 minutes, but by the time I knew it, the little notification came on. I was like, oh, your session's over. I was like, it's been an hour already? I mean, I knew I knocked out for a portion of it, but like for 30 minutes? It's so crazy. So basically, I just asked, my question was like, what happened during the session? Because I did see stuff, so you can go and watch that video. I saw some images, I saw and felt the energy of the Palladians, and then I also called in my galactic family because I don't feel super called or connected to the Palladians, so I don't know if they're part of my family or tribe at all. So then I just called my own family in because I wasn't sure. But I know that when I get fixated on something, spirit is calling me to do that thing. So I just do it now. Like if I feel really strongly called, if something happens and I feel really pulled to something, then I follow through. Sometimes it doesn't make financial sense, but that's how I got to where I am today, is by not following the financial sense thing, because it paid off in the end. And also I got a check for this financial thing that I purchased, which was the QHHT course. I had a check from an old job that I have no idea where this money even came from, but I need to go do some work. I need to get it notarized to be able to cash the check. So I did that, and it was about the same price of the cost. So a wash? I don't know. Taking care of me? Yes, for sure. And so when I was in the chamber, I asked them to show me what was being done, or to share with me what was being done to me. And I saw like I was in like an operating room, which was the room that I was in. My chest was open, but it was a lot like, it wasn't like bloody and what a human chest would look like. It was like blue and white and open. It didn't feel invasive or painful or in any sense. And I saw kind of like in the movies where the doctors are doing a surgery, and there's either auditors, I don't know what they call them, auditors or corporations, I don't know who's watching them from the top glass, and they're doing the surgery down here, and it's a room with glass that they can watch. So it basically felt like that. I was being operated on by the Palladians, and then my galactic family came in and was just monitoring and making sure that everything was being done accordingly, correctly, and only what was needed was being done. I did see like a DNA strand projected in front of me on top of my chest, and they were like doing some stuff with my DNA, which I did ask her during the session too. I was just like, can you help update my DNA, allow me to have more light, allow me to tap into my skill set from my soul self, so that I can be of service to the collective and to humanity. I don't know what that is yet. I don't know, is this what I'm supposed to be doing, by helping people move through past lives, or doing Akashic readings, or doing the energy work, or energizing the earth somehow. So that's why I leave it open. I'm not sure what it is, but I allow them to do what they need to do to allow more light into my physical body, so that I can do what it is that I was sent here to do. So yeah, I saw that, and I just thought that that was really cool. And this last piece, part 5, is about my Sedona trip coming up in March in Arkansas for this year. So I heard the word Sedona in my astrology reading, and you can go and scroll down. You'll see I posted some of the highlights for my astrology reading, so that you can know what to expect if you ever book one with this particular person. And she has mentioned, oh, your guides are saying Sedona, is there any connection there? And I was like, no, I don't care. If I travel to the water, the beachside, or lake. I don't really care. Why would I go to a desert? I'm drawn to water. And so when she said that, I was just like, but my father-in-law lives in near Mesa, so 2 hours away from Sedona, but that's about it. And so we got distracted in conversation, so we never circled back. So now that she said that, that was last October 2025, it had just stuck in my head. And then I was I don't know, at the end of the year, January, I was like really being drawn to like take a trip there. And I was like, what? I don't care. I know she said that, but I've heard people go to Sedona. I've heard of Sedona, but like I never felt drawn to it. And then I started seeing videos on my TikTok feed, and then she said that, and then now I'm like feeling pulled to go there. So I was like, holy crap. And so I threw the idea out to my husband. He doesn't really like traveling, so I didn't really have high hopes that this trip was going to happen, but I was going to like keep bringing it up, so he knew that it was important to me to gauge if he was going to be like, okay, let's go. He didn't really push back. He wasn't excited, but he didn't push back. So I was like, okay, I think this is gonna happen. I was like, do you want to go after Valentine's Day? Because it's really busy at our bakery business. So I was like, let's go after Valentine's Day, but before spring break, because I don't want to just feel like overcrowded. And so he's like, okay. A couple of days later, after I said dates, he was like, guess who calls me? His childhood friend is coming to town on the 28th. They wanted to know if we were going to want to go to a concert with them. And he said, no, we might be planning a trip to Sedona. And he's like, we're actually flying out to Phoenix the next day. We're coming in town for the trip, and then we're going to fly out after that. The concert, not a concert, what is it? A comedy show. And so when he said that, I was like, ooh, I know this trip is gonna happen, because not is it just I want to go, but now his two friends, childhood friends, they all grew up, they all went to college together. Now 2 of them are gonna be in Phoenix the same week that we were planning to go, and so they're like, okay, we'll just extend our trip and then go to Sedona with you guys, because we want to see Sedona too. And so it all worked out, synchronicity. I know if it was just me, he probably wouldn't be as excited, and probably I don't know if the trip would have came to fruition, but because his friends were going, that like solidified it for me. I knew we were going at that point. There was no way we were not going if 2 of his friends were going to be in that area. And it just felt so good and really, I was like, oh, I don't have to keep like trying to convince him to go, because it's so important to me. I'm feeling called there spiritually. So we're going to Sedona the first week of March, and so I wanted to ask some questions about that. I just originally how I found out about the tachyon chambers was I was looking for spiritual services in Sedona, and that came up. But the tachyon service that I went to in January was $50 for an hour, and in Sedona for 20 minutes it's like $75. So I way prefer the the hour session, it was very good and worthwhile. But I guess I will settle for the 20-minute session, even though I have to pay like what, triple the price, or double the price, almost a little under double. Well, it depends because I'm not great at math, but that's only 20 minutes compared to an hour session. So yeah, probably triple the price. But yeah, I asked like, is there a service or person or a place I need to visit when I'm in Sedona, because I don't know, like we're still trying to plan a trip. And my higher self basically just said, no, you just go there, go to the land. Whatever you do is a bonus. We just need you to get there to the land. And so we asked like, okay, so what's the reason for going there and being at the land then? And the messaging I got was that there's some energetic work that is going to be done. So when I get there, there's going to be clearing and activations. And then also there's going to be a release or detox when I get there. So I don't technically need to do anything, but my physical and energetic body being there is leaving a footprint and taking something with me. So that was really cool to kind of hear. And then also a long time ago, maybe in 2020 or 2019, I was doing a meditation, and this was before I was even into spirituality or anything. I was still Christian, and I was just doing a meditation because I was very stressed about life, and I just wanted to find out, where is this calm place? Like, how are people coming to this calm place? I want to be calm. And so I saw myself as a petroglyph on the wall, so a chalk figure. Basically, to me at that time, I didn't even know what that word was, petroglyph. And so I said I was a chalk figure on the wall, a red cave, inside a cave, and it was red, and I was like a stick figure, and it was me. I was watching me. I was on a little chair, white. Let's see if I can draw it. And this is the last piece of it. It's about Arkansas. This is part 6. But basically, if you guys already know, there's a video down on this page, I believe I posted on TikTok, about seeing so many signs to go to Arkansas last year, but I had too many trips. I told them, okay, I will plan it in 2026. Is that okay? And they were fine with that. And so when I asked about Arkansas again, just the other day, they told me April, August, or I said no to April, no to August. I said, what other month? And they said October. So we might be going there, my husband and I, for our birthdays in October. We'll see. But the messaging that they were saying again was like, yep, there's something there. Energetically, there's work that needs to be done with me being there, and still feeling the energy of like living there, moving there, and starting a family there. And I don't want to, you guys. I still have resistance. I don't want to. What's in Arkansas? Anyone from there? What's it like? Is it a cool place to live? What's the community like? What's the people, the land, the weather, the bugs, the reptiles, the insects? Like, what is it like down there? I just don't feel called at all. I don't want to go there, and I am still afraid to leave. My family and friends here, they're all here. I'm gonna miss them, and how am I gonna have the community and support down there? Also, I'm a person of color, I'm Asian, so like, oh, what's it like? How's the community? Are they open, welcoming? Where's the best place? I don't even know where to visit in Arkansas when we come, but I did do some research about the hot springs. So I think it's a more touristy area, so I would probably go there. I don't, unless I'm being called to a different city or a different thing or landmark. I'm not sure. I haven't really done that research because I've done so much research for my Sedona trip. And so, again, still being called to Arkansas, moving there, starting a family there. I'm still resisting. I don't want to do it. But if anyone is from there and you have some good or bad stories you want to share, please share it with me. I would love to learn more. Where's the best place to live? Where are some cool spiritual sites, if any? The best communities. I'm also vegan, so hopefully there's like vegan stuff at the grocery store, not just fruits and vegetables, but like maybe if I feeling I want to eat like some chicken nuggets, some vegan nuggets, or vegan sausage or breakfast sausage or whatever, I would love to sometimes just be able to pick that up instead of making everything on my own. So curious about that, if you know anything about that. But yeah, I don't want to go, but I would love to hear some feedback of people if they're from there and what they think about living there and raising a family there. Y'all, filters really do wonders. This is so beautiful. I don't think I would even record myself if there weren't any filters. I have like a pimple here, about to get my period soon. So thankful for filters, and I super curious if people see me in person and see this, like what the heck they think. Anyway, this is the final video after sharing my QHHT session. I just wanted to hop on. If you are local to Minnesota, I live in St. Paul. If you want to have a QHHT session or past life regression, or you want to come get your Akashic reading, or to do some kind of healing or energy work, or just to talk about your childhood trauma or reintegrating or clearing energies regarding that, feel free to reach out to me. I am open to services. QHHT and Akashic reading are pretty standard. So if you're in the area, QHHT does have to be done in person. I don't have the equipment to do it virtually, and I've never done it virtually, but you come to my home, I have a session room, and we do that there. If you want to do a past life, you can come here too as well. QHHT is past life and questions to your higher self, and then past life regression is just the exploring the past life and then integrating the information. And then also Akashic reading can be done remotely. You can just submit your questions to me, and I do an audio recording and I email it to you, or we can work out any kind of plan that you want. I'm open to whatever. I'm very flexible right now, and we can work up any kind of session, whatever you want to work through or understand, or transmute, release, get a different perspective. Just let me know. We can talk about it. We can talk about what we can do. But yeah, QHHT, again, locally, you can drive here if you're located in Minnesota. Again, I'm in St. Paul. I do it in person. Most other sessions we can do either remotely, or we could probably do via Zoom. Like, I don't technically need you in person for that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm open. If you are interested or want to try something, like email me and we'll see if it's something that we can work through together. Let's work together. If not, totally fine. But thank you for following along with my journey. Again, to learn about the services, just go to my website, which I'm going to link probably right here, or type out right here, mylightwithin.com. All the information is there. If you see me here, you already probably follow me on social. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, comment, whatever works for you.